Greetings, all 895 adventurers of the realm. Welcome back to another DC20 video. I hope you brought your seatbelt because it's going to be a long video. It's going to be a long ride. Random explosion. Today we're going to be covering the Mastery system in DC20, so if you need to, pause the video, use the restroom, grab a snack, grab a beverage. I'll give you 5 seconds, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's get started. In DC20, masteries represent your character's level of competence within different categories. When you have a mastery in something, like skills for example, you gain certain bonuses and actions. However, having no masteries may result in having no bonuses to add to rolls. That's a huge deal in this game. In DC20, there are 4 types of masteries that you can get: skills, trades, languages, and combat. You gain mastery from your class, class features, subclass features, ancestry traits, or talents. With these basics in mind, let's dive into the skill mastery. We already covered skill in a previous video. Check it out. But to sum it up, skills represent your character's ability to perform certain activities. This means that a skill mastery would represent your proficiency with a skill. In the game, there are 5 skill mastery levels: novice, adept, expert, master, and grandmaster. Each of these levels grant you an additional +2 on the respective skill check. Let's set an example. Let's say your game master calls for you to make an athletics check. In this example, your character has a 3 in might, meaning you currently have a +3 to your roll. However, if you chose to have a skill mastery level in athletics, that adds a +2, making your total bonus a +5. And if you were to go from novice in athletics to adept, that would be an additional +2 to your bonus, making it a total of +7. Even though you can spend your skill points to gain skill mastery, it's important to remember not to exceed your skill mastery limit. Your limit starts at level 1 with novice and goes up every 5 levels. Before we move on to the trade mastery, I want to take a second and thank you for sticking around this long. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to help keep this series going. And now, on to the trade mastery. We already covered trades in a previous video. But to sum it up, trades represent your character's ability to perform with certain tools and professions. This would mean that a trade mastery would represent your proficiency with a trade. Trade mastery follows the same progression table as skill mastery, with novice being +2 and grandmaster being a +10. Likewise, the trade mastery also follows the same chart for the mastery limit. Let's do another example. Let's say your game master calls for you to make an alchemy check. In this example, your character has a 2 in agility and a 0 in intelligence. Since alchemy uses agility or intelligence, we're gonna go with agility for a +2. Now, if we were to have a trade level mastery in alchemy, that would give us an additional +2, making our total bonus a +4. And for every trade mastery level we put into alchemy, that's an additional +2 bonus we get to add to our overall bonus. Again, remember to always check that it's never exceeding your trade mastery limit. A unique aspect to the trade mastery are the trade points. In DC20, a player has the option to convert 1 skill point into 1 trade point, but not the other way around. This could mean that instead of having 3 trades with a mastery, you could then have 4 trades with a mastery. Remember to keep in mind, this would mean that you would be short a skill point. Now, let's move on to the language mastery. In our last video, we defined language as how creatures speak and interact with each other across the world. This would mean that a language mastery would grant you levels of proficiency within different languages. This is honestly my favorite aspect of the mastery system. If you don't have a language mastery in a language, that just means you can't speak or understand it. Unlike skill or trade masteries, language masteries only have 2 levels: limited and fluent. Limited means you can read, write, and speak the language, but must succeed a language check to do so. Fluent means that you can read, write, and speak the language fluently. For example, let's say that you found your way into a giant village. If you have giant on your character sheet but have no language mastery levels in it, you just don't know that language. If you have 1 level, aka limited, in the language of giant, then you can probably understand that language if you succeed a language check. This would be a D20 plus charisma or intelligence. whichever is higher. Now, if you have 2 levels in Giant, aka Fluent, then you can understand the language of Giant perfectly. With Language Mastery, there is no limit to how many languages your character can learn. And a quick little reminder from our language video, check it out. All characters understand and are fluent in the language of Common. This is the universal language of the game. Your character would have to be extremely isolated or super stubborn to not know this simple language. Similar to the Trade Mastery, you can convert 1 trade point into 2 language points, but not the other way around. Let's finish off with our final type of mastery, Combat Mastery, or CM for short. Combat Mastery grants you a bonus to combat statistics such as your save DC, physical defense, mental defense, attack checks, and spell checks. Your Combat Mastery is always going to equal half your character's level rounded up. Lacking Combat Mastery can have drastic consequences. It means not adding your bonus to spell casting, weapons, armors, shields, and saves. Ouch. And just like that, you now have a basic understanding of how Mastery works in DC20. If you liked what you saw and want to grab a preview of the alpha rules for yourself, I've included a link down in the description. It's going to take you to the Kickstarter page, which is currently live as of this video being recorded. Seriously, if this sounds like a game that you would have a blast playing, consider supporting it. This video isn't sponsored or anything like that. I just really enjoy this system, if you can't tell by the videos I'm working on. And if you want to learn more about the rules of the game, check out these other videos that we made. I think you'll like them. I'll see you in the next video.